Okay, so I've got the glass. The glass is nice and clean. I've washed it and cleaned it really well. And then I'm going to do attach an applique to it. So this is the applique here. It was just a paper clay applique that I had made. So they're actually a little bit bendy, these ones. But what I did with this one, I actually spritzed it with some water, like spray. And then I had some tape and I taped it down. So I molded it a little bit to the shape, and then I attached it to the glass, and then I had some tape on it, and then I waited for it to dry. So it's now dried. It has cracked a little bit just here, but that's okay. That adds to the character. So all I'm going to do now is basically line up the applique on the glass about whereabouts I want it. So that's roughly it there. Okay, and then I've just got some super glue. Okay, I don't know, this is just a generic super glue, it's not a brand name or anything. Okay, and put the super glue all over the applique, so I will need to put it here in the corners. Okay, just being very careful not to get glue on your fingers. I have actually got super glue on my fingers before, and let's just say I had a little bit of a major freak out when I started to glue my fingers together. Okay, so I'll just let that for a minute, close this up. Oh, there's actually glue on that, on my fingers. Yuck. Okay, so I've got the applique. Very careful when I position it on, make sure it's straight. Okay, it's on, hold it down. So holding. Not quite sure how long it says we have to bond it for. Apply to only one of the surfaces in small drops. Place two surfaces together quickly. Okay, in case of eye contact, hold it. Oh no, okay, don't need to do that. Okay, so this has now been on there for a little while. I've gone and made myself a cup of tea. And while I've gone, this is dried. So now I'm going to be using some paint as my first layer. I'm using this paint. It's Junk Monkey Paint Company Candy Bar Brown. Okay, so that will be my first coat. So I've given it a really good shake. Okay, and that's a lovely brown color, because you'll know what I'm doing in a minute when I've finished painting. Have a drink of my tea. Okay, so anyone here, do they drink tea or drink coffee? I'm a mixture of both. I drink tea and coffee. So I've got this really cool cup. See, it's got Rillo and Fink on the front, and just so I don't have any accidents, it says, oops, hang on, it says not paint water on the back. So there we go. I shouldn't get it wrong. Yeah, anyone else leave their tea bags in? Drives my husband nuts that I leave my tea bag in, but hey, that's how I like to drink it. Okay, so we've got this glass. Okay, and this paint's nice and thick, and it sticks to just about anything. So we'll just paint this on and see how we go. I'm not looking for a really great coverage. This is just the base coat. And this glass will end up being a candle holder. Okay, right. Okay, so I'll just paint this, getting to all the little nooks and crannies. Aeroplanes going over. Okay, so just give this a really good paint. Okay. I really like these molds because of the paper clay and the way that I've made them. They're not smooth. They're a little bit rustic, I suppose you could say, and they're not smooth, and they have little divots in it, so they look really old and worn. So that glass is ready. I shall leave that to dry. Okay, so we're back. I've painted the glass in the brown, and it's now all nice and dry. Okay, I've got some really nice, I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of cracking. I don't know if you can sort of see, but there's a nice little bit of cracking on the paint surface, so I'm really happy. Oh, there we go. So I'm really happy with that because that adds to the texture. So I'm really happy. There's a little bit just there as well that you might be able to see. So, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see there, but there's some cracking here as well, all right through there. And that's not the glass, that's just the paint that's cracked. So that just adds texture to the glass. So I'm really happy with that. All right, okay. So now I've got some black paint here. Okay, so we'll just give that a bit of a stir. Okay, so this is a black blue, this one that I've got here. Okay, so I don't need to paint the glass perfectly. We'll start with the base first, I think, and just sort of give it a bit of a paint. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. If it's a little bit rough, that's fine. Okay, if a little bit of the brown shows through, that's fine as well. Okay, I'm just trying to think. I wonder if I have a shabby chip brush somewhere that's small enough. I've only got the big ones, and that's definitely way too big. I'm just going to have a look, see what I've got over here. Just a second. Okay, I'm back, and I found a small one. I've got that one, and I've got this one. I'll just try this one, see how we go. It's probably about the right size. So just sort of, okay, just dip it in the paint. Okay, and see how we go. Oh, that's nice. Bit of brownness and texture. That's a lot better than using the solid brush. That's okay. That's perfect. So we'll just, okay. Okay, right. That's going to work well, I think. Just, oops, put my finger in the painted bit. That's not what I wanted, but that's okay. Okay, so we'll just paint this. Okay, a little bit rough. Okay, so we'll just, okay, right. Okay, right, so if a little bit of the brown shows through, that's fine. Okay, right. This paint that I'm using here is one that I've made myself, so I can't give you the brand details. Actually, no, hang on. I think that one there is one that I decanted, and I think it might be from Porter's Paint. And I think it's called Van Helsing from memory, because this is the blue black. Yeah, this one is from Porter's, and it is a blue black called Van Helsing. Okay, so how are we going here? Okay, so that's a bit solidly painted. It's okay. I solidly paint this one a bit more as well then to just make it even. Right. Okay, I think, let me have a look. Yep, perfect. I think that's perfect. And there's texture in there, so I'm reworking the wet paint that started to dry a little bit, and it's leaving a textured mark, so that's great. Okay, so just go in there. Okay, right, and then we're going to dry brush with some white. Okay, all right, so I'll just turn this off here. I'll wait for this to dry, and then we'll come back and do the dry brushing. See you in a minute. Okay, so we're back now. So I put the black coat on, and it has dried, as you can see. Okay, so generally I would recommend a longer time between coats, but I'm actually drying this in front of my heater in the house. It's winter, so the gas heater is on, so I'm just rapid drying the paint, which is also why I'm getting the cracks as well, which I like, so that's fine. Okay, so I haven't painted the bottom of the glass. I actually quite like it like that. and then that's the inside of the glass. Okay, so now we're going to just do a little bit of dry brushing over the top. So I've got this paint here. I'll just give it a bit of a stir. This is Junk Monkey antique lace. So just use a bit of that. Okay, so just open up the tin. I like these plastic tins. Okay, so I'll just scoop out a little bit of paint. I only need the littlest bit for this dry brushing. So I've just got a bowl and I have just put a bit of Glad wrap in it, plastic wrap. Okay, just to line the bowl. So then what I will do is I'll just throw the plastic away, okay, when I've finished. Okay, so what happened to my brush? Found it. Okay, oh yuck, that one's not clean on the handle properly, and I've got paint all up the handle and on my hand. Okay, but that's all right. Nothing we can't wipe off. Okay, so I've got this paint here. I'll use the same shabby chip brush from before, and I'll just wipe the paint off that. Give a bit of a wipe. Okay, so now I've got the paint on here. Okay, so I'm just going to offload it onto this bit of paper that I've got here with dry brushing. You try and offload as much paint as you can. Okay, so we're just gonna give it a very, very light brush on here. There we go, just a very, very light brush. Okay, a very light brush on the stem. Okay, right. And we're just going to carry it down. Okay, so just like that. The dry brushing is very, very, very light, so it'll dry quickly. Okay, so there we go. Just fortunately okay, there we go. So I've just used that little bit of, maybe offload a little bit more paint. There we go. Okay, so just with the paint that I've got on that brush, I probably even put too much in that bowl, to be honest. I'm just going to just cross it a little bit. Okay, and oops, there was a little thick piece on that brush just then. That's okay, we'll just work around it. Okay, and just sort of work through it. That's okay. That happens. Okay, so obviously I haven't offloaded the brush enough. Okay. Okay. That's okay. Right, so we've got the dry brushing. A little bit backwards and forwards, side to side, crossing it over. And down the bottom. Okay, just dry brushing. Okay, down the bottom here, crossways as well. Okay, on the sides. We might even be able to sand that bit off. Okay, so that's how it looks so far. Okay, so that's the white bits. That's right, adds a bit of texture and detail to the. Now I don't know whether I want to actually glaze it or not. If I put a black glaze over the top. So just painting. Okay. Actually, I really like the look of that. Yeah. See, so that's how it looks. Okay, I'm liking that. Okay, so it will actually sit like this with the candle on the top. So if I had a candle, which I don't at the moment, but the candle would sit on the top there like that. Or alternatively, you could always turn it upside down and have it as a glass. Okay, so I was just looking under here. Oh yeah, that looks a little bit, you can see the paint under there, that adds a bit of dimension to it, something a bit different. So there's the glass there. I'm thinking I might put a little bit of black glaze over it. I like it, but it needs a little bit of something. So let me see, I've got some over here. This one's nearly empty. Okay, so what I might do is swap this out, hence the reason the plastic wrap, and get some more plastic wrap. Put that in there. Give this a bit of a, okay, it's a bit thin, might be enough in there. I only need the littlest bit. If I need more, I can always add it. Okay, right. That is a very, very, very old tin of glaze, that one. Okay, so I've got that. Offload it onto the side. Got the paint on it. Maybe I should have swapped the brushes over. Let me see how it's going to go. Oh yeah, it's looking alright. Okay. Okay, so just a little bit. So the glass is now dried. That's how it's looking at the moment. So I have put the black glaze over it. It's looking all nice and sort of ancient-y. I may put a little bit more white glaze over, dry brushing over the top. We might just do that now, see how it goes. Okay, we'll see. Just the littlest bit. Just on this applique just here, just to lighten it up, just the littlest bit. So it's got a really nice bit of texture on it. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that or not, but that is the texture that is on it now. So that's just with the dry brushing and the glazing and then the 2 layers of paint. So that there has all been done with chalk paint and some super glue when I glued down the applique. And there was also a little bit of glaze. So that's how it looks right now. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. So what I will do is I will let the paint fully cure before I seal it. And what you can do when you go to seal it is use a spray sealer. So that's it there. So when I do go to seal, I will probably use something like this in a spray. I do have a brush on from another brand, but I'm not that keen on it, so I quite like this. If you see on the base, you can actually see that there's a little bit of a paint swirl. I think that adds to the uniqueness of it all. So what we can do is, because the paint hasn't fully cured, I can actually clean it off the glass. So there we go. So that's like that. So that's all nice and clean now. Okay, so I will let that paint cure for a couple of days before I seal it. But that's what it's looking like at the moment. So I hope you like it. So as I said, we could use it, we could put, oops, I've got the paint on there. We could use it as a plant holder or a paintbrush holder, like that. So you could use it like that, or we could even, just trying to think what else I've got here to put in it. Not a whole lot. Yes, or we could put some candles on it. So that's how it's looking at the moment. Okay, so yeah, I will let that cure for a couple of days before I seal it. And then it is ready to be used either as a candle holder or as some sort of a container. I wouldn't use it to drink out of, but definitely as a planter or some sort of a vase perhaps. Okay, so I really hope you like it. There we go. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you really enjoyed the tutorial for this. Okay, and I will see you next time. Thanks guys. Bye.